single electrode potential. Single electrode potential. Or you can say half cell potential. Half cell potential. See, whenever an element is in contact with its own ion, whenever an element is in contact with its own ion, for example, I am taking the same example which we learnt in previous lesson. Previous lesson means previous lecture. It is a zinc rod, right? Zinc rod is in contact with its own ion, Zn2 plus ions. See, let us suppose that it is ZnSO4 solution. Zinc rod, zinc atoms on the surface of the rod. Zinc atoms which are present on the surface of the atom in contact with its own ions. Remember, whenever an element is in contact with its own ion, due to difference in oxidation state, due to difference in the charge, then there exists potential between solid phase and aqueous phase. It is called interface. Interface. So there is a tension. There is a tension between the two phases because Zn is in contact with Zn2 plus. Zinc atoms which are present on the surface are in contact with ions. So therefore there is a tension between the two phases. Due to that tension, potential is developed between the two phases. The potential developed between the two phases is single electrode potential, also known as half cell potential. Half cell potential. See, Zn2 plus ions in the solution move freely. Due to this, zinc 2 plus ions will collide on the surface of the zinc rod. Zn2 plus ions which are present in the solution, they collide with atoms which are present on the surface of the zinc rod. So due to continuous collisions of Zn2 plus ions on the surface of the zinc rod, potential is developed between the two phases. That potential developed between the two phases is called single electrode potential or half cell potential. Due to collision of Zn2 plus ions on the surface of the zinc rod, two reactions may occur. One is zinc atoms which are present on the surface may lose two electrons there itself and convert into Zn2 plus. This may happen. Zinc atoms which are present on the surface of the zinc rod may lose two electrons on there itself go into the solution as Zn2 plus, or Zn2 plus ions which are present in the solution may absorb, may gain 2 electrons on the zinc rod and convert into zinc. So this is oxidation reaction and this is reduction reaction. So continuously both the reactions takes place. Simultaneously these two reactions take place. After that, equations both forward and backward, both the reactions are in equilibrium state. Means the reaction reaches to equilibrium state. Okay. Similarly, this is the beaker having copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution. A copper rod is dipped in it. A copper rod is dipped in it. Now, copper atoms which are present on the surface of the rod, now in contact with Cu2 plus ions in the solution. Again, it acts as electrode. It acts as a half cell. Now, in this beaker also, Cu2 plus ions make collisions on the surface of the copper rod. Due to that, potential is developed between the two phases known as half cell potential. And due to continuous collisions of Cu2 plus ions on the surface of the rod, here also two reactions may happen. Cu2 plus ions, 2 electrons gives rise to Cu. Cu may lose 2 electrons on the surface of the rod and convert into Cu2 plus. After some time, equation reaches to equilibrium state. Now, Zn dipped in ZnSO4 half cell, copper dipped in copper sulfate solution half cell, because they are in contact with their own ions. So this is the equation at half cell, zinc half cell. It is the equation at copper half cell. Now, for example, if we are connected via externally by a copper wire, then spontaneously electrons move from zinc rod to copper rod, and this becomes electrochemical cell. Remember, not only zinc and copper, any two half cells, any two electrodes are connected, then it becomes electrochemical cell. Is it clear? Any two half cells, ZnSO4 in contact with hydrogen and hydrogen ions, electrochemical cell. Hydrogen ions in hydrogen gas in contact with H plus ions, connected to silver, contact with Ag plus ions, becomes electrochemical cell. Any two half cells are connected. Any two half cells are connected together, then it becomes electrochemical cell, and that cell generates electricity. That cell produces electrical energy. So, when these two half cells are connected together, it is observed fact. Electrons spontaneously flow from zinc rod to copper rod. So therefore, at zinc rod, only this reaction taken place. So that means the equilibrium almost shifted to right hand side, Zn2 plus 2 electrons, and at copper, Cu2 plus ions gain 2 electrons, so thereby the reaction will be moved towards right hand side almost. Now, what is the overall reaction? Zn plus Cu2 plus gives rise to Zn2 plus Cu. As long as the reaction proceeds to right hand side, the cell produces electrical energy. So, is it clear? This is the reaction takes place in the electrochemical cell. As long as reaction proceeds in the right hand side, then the cell generates electricity, electrical energy. Suppose whenever the reaction reaches to equilibrium state, then the reaction reaches to equilibrium state. Now, then cell does not generate electrical energy. Clear? Whenever equilibrium is towards right hand side, then cell generates energy. In the electrochemical cell, if reaction reaches to equilibrium state, the cell does not work. Cell does not generate electrical energy. So at zinc, loss of electrons takes place, oxidation of reaction. Therefore, it acts as anode of cell. Cu2 plus gained electrons, therefore reduction of reaction. This is cathode of cell. And this is net equation in the electrochemical cell. Most important point is half cells are electrodes are reversible. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, in Daniell cell or voltaic cell, how will you represent the equation? How will you represent the cell? Anode. This is anode. And salt bridge, cathode half cell, right? In the previous lesson, previous topic, we learned how to represent the galvanic cell. Anode half cell, cathode half cell. Anode and cathode are represented extreme left hand side and right hand side. Electrolytes are represented like this. 1 molar, 1 molar. Right? So in this cell, zinc acts as anode and copper acts as cathode. Now, for example, copper dipped in copper sulfate, copper dipped in copper sulfate solution and silver dipped in silver nitrate solution. Copper dipped in copper sulfate solution, silver dipped in silver sulfate solution, silver nitrate solution. Copper is in contact with Cu2 plus ions, silver is in contact with Ag plus ions. Elements are in contact with their own ions. Therefore, it acts as a half cell. This acts as half cell. Both are electrodes. Both the electrodes are connected together. Then, now flow of electron takes place from copper rod to silver rod. So that means copper loses electrons. Ag plus ions take electron. Ag. So this is the reaction at silver electrode. This is the reaction at copper electrode. Here oxidation of reaction takes place. Here reduction of reaction takes place. And this is the net equation. So when copper and silver rods are connected together, then oxidation of reaction takes place at copper rod. So this is anode. And reduction of reaction takes place at cathode, silver electrode. Therefore, it is cathode. And this is net equation in the cell. Net equation in the cell. See, in voltaic cell, copper electrode acted as cathode, undergone reduction. In this cell, copper connected to silver electrode, then copper lost electrons. That means oxidation of reaction takes place at this electrode and reduction of reaction takes place at this electrode. So therefore, in this, copper acted as anode. So that means depending on the other electrode, based on other electrode, any electrode may act as anode or cathode. May lose electron, may gain electron. May undergo oxidation, may undergo reduction. Is it clear? So that is why half cells or electrodes are said to be reversible. So depending on the other electrode with which it is connected, then the electrode may undergo either oxidation or reduction, means may lose electron, may gain electron. So depending on that, we can say half cells are reversible. See, whenever an element is in contact with its own ions, then potential is developed between the two phases. Okay, then the potential is said to be electrode potential. Okay. If electrode undergoes oxidation, then it is said to be oxidation potential. If any electrode undergoes oxidation, the potential developed between the two phases is said to be oxidation potential. Clear? If any electrode undergoes reduction, then potential is developed between the two phases. That is called electrode potential, right? That electrode potential is called reduction potential. So, if oxidation reaction takes place at electrode, then the potential developed between the two phases is said to be oxidation potential. If reduction reaction takes place at that electrode, then the potential developed between the two phases is said to be reduction potential. Is it clear? Electrode potential may be oxidation potential or reduction potential. Now, electrode potential values depend on the nature of the electrode. Depends on their nature. Next, number of electrons involved. Number of electrons gained or lost. Another important point is temperature, pressure. In case of gaseous electrodes, concentration of electrolyte used in the half cell. So, nature of the electrode, number of electrons involved in the reaction, temperature, pressure in case of gaseous electrodes, concentration of electrolyte used in the half cell. So, electrode potential value even for single electrode is also, same electrode is also not constant, remember. Electrode potential values of copper, zinc, silver, hydrogen, chlorine, bromine, all these are different only. Depends on the nature of the electrode. But given electrode also, for a given electrode also, electrode potential is not constant. For a given electrode is also, electrode potential is not constant. Depends on temperature, depends on concentration of electrolyte in the solution. In case of gaseous electrodes, depend on the pressure also. So, for a given electrode, electrode potential value is not same. Depends on these factors. So that is why, see, if temperature is 25 degrees Celsius or 298 Kelvin, pressure is 1 atmosphere for gaseous electrode, and concentration of electrolyte in the solution is 1 molar, then the electrode is said to be standard electrode or standard half cell. Remember, if temperature is not 25 degrees Celsius, if pressure is not equal to 1 atmosphere, or if concentration of the solution is not 1 molar, then it is normal half cell, a normal electrode. It is not standard electrode. A standard electrode satisfies these three conditions. Standard electrode satisfies these three conditions. If any one condition is not matched, not same, then it is not standard half cell. So that means if concentration of the solution 0.1 molar or any other concentration, it is not standard electrode. For example, it is 1 molar, 1 atmosphere, temperature is not 25 degrees Celsius, then it is not a standard electrode. Remember. So, an electrode or a half cell is said to be standard only when the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, pressure is 1 atmosphere, and concentration of electrolyte in the solution is 1 molar. Standard electrode potential is represented by E naught. Remember, if cell undergoes means half cell. If half cell undergoes oxidation, then the electrode potential is said to be standard oxidation potential. The electrode potential is said to be standard oxidation potential, SOP. If half cell undergoes reduction, so reduction half reaction taken place at a particular electrode, then the potential developed is standard electrode potential. Therefore, it is called SRP, standard reduction potential. Clear? So, for example, half cell is at these conditions. Suppose it is undergoing oxidation reaction, means it acting as anode, then potential developed is called standard oxidation potential. And at any electrode, reduction half reaction takes place, then the electrode potential developed between the two phases is said to be standard reduction potential. E naught ox means oxidation potential, standard oxidation potential. E naught red means standard reduction potential. Now, very important relation between SOP and SRP. For any half cell, see, SOP and SRP are same in magnitude. Only difference is, if SOP is positive, SRP is negative. If SOP is negative, SRP will be positive. For example, SOP of an electrode is plus X volts. If SOP of an electrode is plus X volts, then SRP of that half cell is minus X volts. That is only the difference. If it is minus X, this will be plus X. So magnitude is same. They differ in the sign. SOP and SRP same. To avoid the confusion, IUPAC recommended that electrode potentials must be SRP. So that means SRP values of all the electrodes are treated as electrode potential values. SRP of half cells treated as electrode potential, standard electrode potential. Clear? Now, the biggest problem is, see, for example, this is ZnSO4 solution. Zinc rod is there. This is copper sulfate solution. A copper rod is dipped in it. Now, if these two are connected via a galvanometer or potentiometer, or you can say voltmeter, in the voltmeter reading, the reading in voltmeter is nothing but E naught cell. So if concentrations of these solutions are 1 molar, then it is said to be E naught cell. It is the standard EMF of the cell. This we discussed in the previous lecture. EMF of the cell, electromotive force of the cell. It is nothing but measure of cell potential. It is a measure of cell potential, efficiency of the cell. That is E naught cathode minus E naught anode. What is E naught cathode? E naught cathode is standard electrode potential of cathode. Electrode potential of cathode. Okay. E naught anode. It is nothing but electrode potential of anode. Electrode potential of anode. So here we are getting directly the EMF of the cell. So that means whenever you connect two electrodes, any two electrodes are connected, it becomes electrochemical cell. Whenever two electrodes are connected together via voltmeter, the reading in the voltmeter is nothing but EMF of the cell that indicates the potential difference between the two electrodes. potential difference between the two electrodes. So that means it is not possible for us to get the electrode potential value. It is not possible. It is not possible to determine exact electrode potential of an electrode or half cell. So we do not have any device to determine the single electrode potential value. But it is possible to determine difference between any two electrodes, potential difference between any two electrodes. It is possible to determine potential difference between any two electrodes. It is not possible to determine exact electrode potential of an half cell or electrode. Is it clear? So whenever you connect two electrodes, you will get EMF of the cell. You will get the potential difference between the two electrodes. It is not possible to determine single electrode potential. Clear? Now recall the electronegativity which you studied in periodic classification. See, what is electronegativity? Electronegativity is the tendency of an atom in a molecule to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. It is the tendency of an atom in a molecule to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. So that means, for example, in case of hydrogen and chlorine, HCl, hydrogen is less electronegative, chlorine is more electronegative. So bond pair of electrons are away from hydrogen. In case of hydrogen fluoride, H is less electronegative, F is more electronegative. And bond pair electrons are away from hydrogen, but more towards fluorine than more towards chlorine. Bond pair of electrons are away from the hydrogen, more away from the hydrogen in case of HF than HCl. So that is why we say that fluorine electronegativity, F electronegativity is more than Cl electronegativity. But it is not possible for us to measure the electronegativity. Is it not? We discussed in the periodic classification. In the same manner, it is not possible to determine electrode potential value. What is electrode? Any element in contact with its O ions, their potential is developed. So there is no device to determine the single electrode potential value. So we have an option that if this electrode is connected to other electrode, then we will get the potential difference between the two electrodes only. For this purpose, as Pauling took hydrogen as reference element to determine the electronegativities of all other atoms of elements, in the same way, hydrogen electrode is taken as a reference electrode. Hydrogen electrode is taken as a reference electrode. Now, hydrogen electrode means hydrogen molecules must be in contact with H plus ion. Hydrogen molecules in contact with H plus ions in the solution. That is called hydrogen electrode. If these hydrogen ions are of 1 molar concentration, and if it is at 1 atmosphere pressure, and at 25 degrees Celsius, then this electrode is said to be standard hydrogen electrode or normal hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode or normal hydrogen electrode. Okay. So the hydrogen gas, hydrogen gaseous molecules must be in contact with aqueous H plus ions, that then it is hydrogen electrode. If concentration of H plus ions in the solution is 1 molar, if hydrogen gas is at 1 atmosphere pressure and the system is at 25 degrees Celsius, then the hydrogen electrode is taken as standard hydrogen electrode or normal hydrogen electrode arbitrarily, because we don't have an option. So arbitrarily, its electrode potential is taken as 0 volts. So suppose if you want to measure electrode potential of a single electrode, then it must be connected to hydrogen electrode, standard hydrogen electrode. Then you will get EMF of the cell. In EMF of the cell, E0 cathode, E0 anode. One electrode potential you don't know. So that can be calculated. So we'll see in the next lecture.